Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a really fascinating idea, one that kind of flips the script on how we think about building the perfect team. You know, we all assume that a team that knows each other inside out is the absolute gold standard. But what if that closeness, that very familiarity, is secretly holding them back? Let's get into it.
I want you to think about the best team you've ever been on. You know the one. It just clicked. You were finishing each other's sentences, you knew exactly who had the answer to what, and everything just ran like a well-oiled machine. But here's the question we're going to dig into today. Could that incredible efficiency actually come at a hidden cost? Could your team's greatest strength also be its biggest weakness?
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the power of familiarity. To really get a handle on the paradox here, we've got to appreciate just how good it can be.
So, what do we even mean by team familiarity? Look, it's not just about how long you've been sharing an office space. It's this deep, shared understanding. It's knowing that Sarah is the Excel wizard, David's the guy you call in a crisis, and you absolutely don't hit Maria with a complex problem before she's had her morning coffee. It's this whole intricate web of knowledge that turns a bunch of individuals into a real, cohesive team.
And this slide right here highlights a super important distinction. On one side, you have tenure. That's just the clock ticking, right? The sheer quantity of time someone's on a team. But what we're talking about is familiarity. And this is all about the quality of that time. It's the rich, shared experience that really builds that bond. It's all about depth over duration.
And the benefits? They're huge, especially when the work is routine. Familiar teams, they produce higher quality stuff. They learn faster, and get this. In high-stakes fields like surgery, familiarity can literally reduce errors and improve patient safety. They coordinate way better under pressure and are much more likely to nail their deadlines and budgets. So, for any team that needs to just execute flawlessly, familiarity seems like pure gold. But there's a catch.
And that catch brings us right to the heart of this whole explainer, the innovation paradox. This is where the whole idea really gets turned on its head.
So here's the crucial point, right here. The exact same thing that makes a team a well-oiled machine for routine work, well, that can become a massive roadblock when it's time to innovate. That amazing efficiency that familiarity drives can actually end up smothering the fresh thinking and creativity you need to break new ground.
Now, this isn't just some random theory somebody cooked up. It's an area of some pretty intense academic focus. In fact, research into team familiarity has really exploded since about 2009, especially in fields where team performance is just critical, like medicine and business management. It's a huge sign that leaders are waking up to how much this dynamic really matters.
And this is a global conversation. As you can see from the data, researchers in the US are really leading the charge. But there's also a ton of significant work coming out of Australia, France, and the UK. What's kind of interesting, though, is that the source material points out this research is pretty heavily focused on Western countries. That suggests the rules of familiarity might even change across cultures, so there's still a lot to learn.
All right, let's dig in a little deeper. Why exactly is familiarity such a double-edged sword? I mean, how can something be so fantastic in one situation and so, well, problematic in another?
This slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got your well-oiled machine doing routine work. Here, shared knowledge leads to super efficient, error-free execution. Perfect. But look at the right side, the messy brainstorm. This is where it all gets a little counterintuitive. That same shared knowledge can become, well, homogenized. It squeezes out diverse ideas. Those routines that were so helpful, now they're just rigid. And that quick, easy communication, it can start to look a lot like groupthink, where nobody wants to rock the boat and challenge the status quo.
So, all of this leads to a really obvious question. If familiarity is built through shared experience, we naturally think about the main ingredient, time. But as it turns out, time itself is a pretty tricky thing. I mean, this is the practical question any manager would ask, right? How long do I need to keep my team together for them to get all those good benefits of familiarity? Are we talking weeks, months, years?
And here is the really surprising answer from all the research. We don't actually know. Isn't that wild? The studies all point to time as being the key ingredient, but they are incredibly vague on the details. There's no magic number. And more importantly, it's clear that just letting the clock tick, well, that's not enough.
And this quote just nails it. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality. What really builds deep familiarity is how that time is filled. It's the intense projects, the shared wins, the tough challenges you overcome together. Those are the moments that forge a truly familiar team.
Okay, so what does all this mean for you, for your team, for your company? How do we actually use this knowledge to build better teams?
Here's a pretty simple framework. First, analyze your task. Are you trying to execute a plan flawlessly, or are you trying to invent something totally new? Step 2, assemble your team for that specific goal. If it's all about execution, yeah, lean into high familiarity. But if it's innovation, you might need to intentionally bring in new people to shake things up. And third, and this is crucial, always watch for the tipping point. That's that moment when comfort starts to slide into complacency. It might look like a lack of healthy debate in meetings or just recycling the same old solutions for brand new problems.
And that leaves us with one last, really provocative question. In a world that demands constant innovation just to stay in the game, does this mean we should be thinking about strategically breaking up our very best, most efficient teams on purpose? It's a really challenging thought, I know, but it gets right to the heart of how we balance stability with creativity. Thanks for joining me.